not a masquerade, it's for real. And it's educational, it's supposed to be something which hopefully will be of benefit to the members of the club and those who will represent Star of Arabia sometime in December. So what's it all about? The next 25 minutes. Whenever you have a subject or a topic, there are always two sides to the coin. And it's a question of your perspective on that. And invariably, when you have opinions, it leads to arguments, it leads to discussions. One way is this, which is fairly commonplace and close to home to a lot of people around the table who are married. And equally so, you have this situation, which also happens, which is a different kind of debate, different kind of argument, where the silence speaks louder than words. Alternatively, you can always settle an argument this way. I shall not talk about whether this is real, whether it happens at home, but it happens in many, many situations where you feel, even if you don't actually do it, you feel like using your fists and settling the argument. Or you can have a debate. And there are debates of various kinds. The first is what is called the Oxford Union debate. This is a very famous institution in the UK, which has got very set rules and is one of the most famous debating forums in the world. And a lot of British politicians have actually passed through the Oxford Union debate. It makes them excellent debaters, makes them excellent speakers, and they are not Toastmasters. You have something called the Dubai debate, which also takes place unknown to a lot of people. It has been happening. GEMS Education has been involved in this occasionally and is a fairly popular forum. College debates are fairly commonplace. Rules change, but this happens quite often. You have the media debates that you see on TV, where you have a group of people who come and debate on a particular subject and give their views and opinions. And you have the parliamentary debate. The British parliamentary system is one of the most famous in the world, and a lot of countries have adopted the British system for the debate, including the Indian Parliament, where it's a combination of the British system and Manny Pacquiao, which you saw, the boxing, which is fairly common in the Indian Parliamentary system. You have the political debates, especially during the American presidential elections. And in the Indian parliamentary system, you have people claiming, let's have a debate. They never have a debate, but they keep talking about it. And then you have the Arnab Goswami debate, where everybody else is supposed to keep quiet. And then you have the Division J debate. There's something wrong with this. I'm not sure why it's happening this way. I'm sorry about this. There's supposed to be a picture which is supposed to come on, but it doesn't matter. Okay. Can I just try a different thing if you don't mind, because otherwise it will defeat the whole purpose. Division J has a certain format for the debate. Last year's version was called the Battle of the Brains, and the format which was used by Division J has been the one which has been used for the last 4 or 5 years. And Star of Arabia,
6 years.
6 years, and Star of Arabia has been a winner of the Division J debate on multiple occasions, and in a sense can be considered to be one of the contributors to the entire rule process for the debate. In the Division J debate process, there are two teams, Team A, Team B. One speaks for and one speaks against the motion or the subject. And there are 3 speakers. The first speaker presents the opening arguments and builds the case. The second speaker rebuts, which means opposes what the other team has said. And the third speaker summarizes for the team, which means summarizes between what the first speaker has said and what the rebutter has said, and packages the whole thing in the form of a summary. So that's the role of each of the three speakers who form part of the teams. So there are two teams. Now, the sequence of speaking is fairly unique, and there's a reason why it is done this way. The first speaker is from team A, speaker 1 of team A, who presents the arguments, and then you have team B, who speaks against, who presents his or her arguments, and then you have speaker number 2 of team B, who rebuts team A. You might think it should go sequentially A1, B1, A2, B2, A3, B2, 3. No, it's not so. It is A1, B1, B2, A2. Then B3 who summarizes and A3 who closes. The reason for this is because team A has spoken for team B has to rebut. And that is why you have team B2 as the third in line. And then, you see like this, he spoke, he rebuts. Then he has spoken after this, so this one rebuts. It's sequential, it is logical actually when you think about it. And then, since this one has spoken here, you have to have one skip in rows. Therefore, this one closes, and lastly, A3 closes the debate. In a debate, there is a strategy always, and preparation is very, very crucial in the debate. And why so? Because you need to build the case, and it's unfortunate that this graphics is not working. Let me just give it one more try.
Don't say to us, we are happy with you.
Okay. First, you need to build your case, and it's like the building blocks when you build a building from the foundation up to the top. And how do you do it? First of all, you state your team's position, which means the sunflower is blue. Yeah. Is sunflower blue? Yellow. What is the color for sunflower?
Yellow.
Yellow.
Who said?
The topic is sunflower blue.
Who
Okay,
said?
sunflower blue. So you build your team's case on why do you think the sunflower is blue, and build the key elements for that. What it's all about. Present your main arguments for your stated stand. Have not more than 3 or 4 arguments because the speaker only has got 3 minutes. Right? And when you close, restate your position. Sunflower is blue. Right? So it has to be crisp, concise, 2 or 3, maximum 4 arguments. For 2 reasons. One is you have to be very strong in what you say. 2, you want to leave the opposition with very little to rebut you. So that's the opening speaker. And how do you do it? You explain and you use logic. Give your primary example. The sunflower is blue. Yes, just like the sky is blue. It lends itself to the nature and so on and so forth, blends with nature. Now, when you give one example, your opponents might think it's a one-off that you're getting away with. So reinforce it with the second example. And then go on to your next point and close. Making sure that you link each of them to your primary stated stand, which is sunflower blue. So it has to be logical, it has to be supportive, and your example should not be one-offs, which your opponents can challenge. Then comes the rebuttal. Now, what is rebut? Rebut is to refute by evidence or argument, challenge the opponent's point of view, right, and show flaws or weaknesses in their arguments. That is the purpose of the rebuttal. Please remember that in the rebuttal, you cannot introduce any new point. You can only challenge and question what your opponent has said. Therefore, you have to listen carefully. The rebuttal need not listen to your own speaker speaking, but he has to listen very carefully to what the opponent is saying and build arguments which are crisp and clear so that you can hit back. And what do? You pick 2 or 3 elements to rebut. The opponent also going to have 3-4 points to speak about. Pick the critical ones. Make sure that you focus only on that set of arguments because you're not supposed to bring in anything new. Be very, very polite but critical in your rebuttal because very often the points you score in the rebuttal can help the team win the debate. Because everybody's got arguments. But the rebuttal, depending on how hard he hits back at the opponent, can actually score a lot of points for the team. So this role is very crucial. And then you come to the summarization. What does the summarizer do? Picks up the key points from your arguments, puts it together, packages it as a total flow. The summarizer is not supposed to introduce any new arguments. Be very careful of that. But here is a small trick which the rules will never talk about. And I'm sharing this with you. You're not supposed to bring in any new arguments. You can only summarize what has been spoken by your speaker, right? Okay. Now, you have said something, your first speaker said something, and your opponents have said something different and unique, which your second speaker has rebutted. So when you summarize, you can actually use your rebutter's arguments as well and indirectly bring in that new point as your own. You're not breaking the rules, but you're bringing on something which is not your argument, since the rebutter has touched upon it. So tell your rebutter to be very clear about what he's going to pick on, because it gives your team an opportunity to introduce a viewpoint in case you haven't thought about it. And let your summarizer pick on that and use it as an argument. You're not violating the rules. But if you had 3 points at the beginning and your rebutter has picked up 2 more points from the opponent, you've got a total of 5 and you can pick the best 3 out of those 5. It's good strategy which works. Yeah? Copyright. Please don't share it with anybody else. If you're a dual member of some other club, keep your mouth shut.
Well done.
Okay. Now, this is a judging form. Unfortunately, this screen is not to worry. It's available on the net. I will circulate it to you so that you can see what constitutes the judging. But the key elements of the debate judging is this. 70% of your scoring is for the content and 30% is delivery. Please remember that this is not evaluation. There is no area of improvement. Either you survive or you die. So it is very, very clear. There are no providers. You win or you lose. And what is the composition of this? In the content, it's 30, 20, 20. 30 for the content, 20 value to the audience, and 20 is effectiveness. So you will see that the content is very key. 30% of the total marks is on the content. So your content has to be sound in terms of the structure, in terms of the organization, in terms of the material that you use, your arguments. The audience should see the logic. You have to be convincing and you have to be credible. So that's 20%. And effectiveness. Now, every member of the team is smart. Every member of the team has an idea, an opinion, has a view, like all of us do. You should be seen to be in sync. It shouldn't happen that the first speaker says sunflower is blue and the reporter says what nonsense. I don't think so, but because the debate I want to say it blue. It has to be seamless, it has to be coordinated, it has to be very smooth. And the conclusion has to be very, very clear. And at every point, restate. This is our position. The other part is the delivery. Toastmasters, vocal variety, body language, this and that. You don't have too many opportunities for body language. But vocal variety definitely, because it communicates conviction, confidence, makes the audience believe, and more importantly, makes others believe. Because don't forget one thing. Hemant and I were talking about books and how some people enjoy reading online and how people like he and I enjoy holding the book in the hand and reading. Yeah, that's our point of view. I love to hold a book in my hand and read. But if the topic is, the best way to read is reading on the line, on the net. Yeah, you'd better say it is so, whether you believe it or not, that doesn't matter. For that 3 minutes, yeah, you need to talk about why so. The personal view is irrelevant. And then, you are addressing an intelligent audience and an intelligent group of judges. However good your content may be, however convincing you may sound, your language is important. Yeah. You might say it doesn't matter in an argument whether your language is great or not. You can still win. Of course you can. But when you're talking about a debate, it is kind of professional. And the difference between you and the next team is in terms of how you present yourself. So the communication, the pronunciation, the grammar, the manner, the effectiveness, all these count. And it's got 10 points. Don't forget that. The speech timing in Division J, the ICDC rules, allow the first two speakers of each team 3 minutes and the summarizer has 2 minutes. Not because the summarizer has less to say, but since the main arguments have already been presented, all the summarizer needs to do is to package it together. And the way it goes is 2, 2.5 and 3, like an evaluation. Yeah, at 2 minutes green light, 2.5 minutes the amber, and 3 minutes comes the red. There is no grace period apart from 10 seconds beyond either the 3 or the 2. Yeah. And there is no concept of the red light will remain on till the end of your speech, because at 3 minutes 10 seconds, timer and the chief judge will start clapping and encourage the audience to clap loudly as well. Why? Not because you've done a great job, but because whatever you say beyond that gets drowned out by the sound. So your words will not be heard by anybody else. So that's why they clap loudly. Yeah. So there's no grace period and light will stay on and so on and so forth. Nobody. I won't spend too much time on this except to give you a heads up on what happens. Typically the organizers will ask for combinations of the team and then they will call you for the draw. Okay. So a representative of the club or the team has to go to that meeting, draws will be done and you'll know who you're up against. They'll also tell you whether you're for or against again through draw of lots. So you will know that. Again, typically this is done 3 to 5 days or a week before the contest, before the debate. So the team has got that much time to prepare. So in that period, meet, discuss, agree, plot, plan, strategize, decide who's going to speak what, and then get ready. But at the later stages, you don't have that much time. So here you nominate your speaking order, decide what your plan is, and then get set. Because in the final rounds, the amount of time you have for preparation is very, very little. In the semi-finals, you have 20 minutes only. And for the finals, you have 10 minutes. So you have to decide very clearly who's going to take on which role in the sequence of 3. And when it comes to the semi-final and final rounds, since you have limited time, let each member focus on his objective, which means the person who's opening, do your quick research, discuss this and that. The rebutter should start thinking of what the opponent is going to come up with. Forget what your speaker is going to say. Think of what the opponent is going to say and get yourself prepared. Summarizer, listen to both and also create in your mind a view of how you would like to present this. You can change the speaking order if you wish. Meaning in the opening round, it could be 1, 2, 3. In the next round, it could be 1, 2, 3. Doesn't matter. Announce it before the contest and you're good to go. This psychology, now this is the crucial part of it. In life, perceptions are more important than reality in a lot of situations. And that's exactly what happens in a debate. The first impression you create, you need to look good. Smart, articulate, confident, and your words, your choice of language, everything matters. You need to finish strong because the last words you say are the last words the judges remember. So even if you've gone a little soft and weak in between, you can overcome that by hitting hard towards the end. And I'm talking of every speaker. Speaker 1, speaker 2, speaker 3. So you have to close very strong. You know how Usain Bolt won the 100 meters in the World Championship recently? The other guy was ahead of him. But at the last moment, Usain Bolt put in that final burst and put his head forward as he crossed the line. The other guy did not put his head forward. That was the only difference. So finish strong. Believe in your side. Just because you have a very strong argument, don't think that your team does not have the same capability. Trust your partners in the team. Do a good job and support each other and believe that they can do it. Halo effect now. This is true in Toastmasters everywhere. Universal principle. Judges are human. You might say they are supposed to be objective, unbiased, and impartial, blah, 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 blah. The fact of the matter, judges are human like you and me. And they have seen people and certain individuals or teams carry the halo effect and judges can get influenced. Please remember that this is reality. Therefore, you need to offset that and compensate for it through the way you present yourself. You have to attack. Yeah? When a leopard attacks its victim, you know what it does? It uses its mouth, it uses its forepaws and hind legs. And how does it do it? With its mouth, it grabs the neck. With its forepaws, it grabs the shoulders. And with its hind legs, it grabs the stomach of the victim, of the animal. So it doesn't give the animal a chance. So your 3 members have to do that. Go for the throat. Attack, attack, attack. It's only a debate. Yeah? In that 8 minutes, go for them. Be calm. But more importantly, appear calm. Yeah. Because however good you may look, okay, let me give an example. So you come, you've spoken, presented your speech, and then you walk. Or you go back to your team members and say, judges are watching. Yeah, so however well they may have rated you, your last gestures can mark you down. Handle the crowd. Now this is very, very important. Yeah, this is a psychological trick you have to play. If you come up with a fantastic argument and the audience says, ah, fantastic. Judges are human again. They'll get conned into believing that you've done a great job. Work the crowd. Look at the crowd. Nod at them. Ask them to nod. Yes. Psychology, you have to play that game. When you see these master speakers and politicians and debaters, they work the audience and build up that. You've seen sportsmen when they walk up to do the high jump. As they're walking back, you will see them doing this, to cheer. So if you get the audience behind you, great. And reading minds is very important. Read whose minds? The judge. Your opponents. What are they thinking? Yeah. If the judge is frowning, look at him and smile as you speak. Get him into a better mood, better frame of mind. If your opponent is looking very strong, yeah, pick one argument and hammer. So that the next speaker from the opponent's side is a little nervous. So this is basically what you need to do. Now, this I need to play for you. Okay. Not working in this. So, in the debate, you're not arguing, you're just presenting your stand which says, look, I don't care what you think, I am right. And this particular session is not available on Amazon, it's only available in So if you have any doubts, good get in touch. Okay. So this is what the debate is all about. Figure out who the SOA team is going to be. And there are
5th of November to nominate.
Decide who the team is going to be, and there are enough experienced Toastmasters around this room to be able to coach, mentor, suggest, guide, help, criticize the team. Okay.